Thank you very much. So I'll just start my presentation. So on the way, so I'll be starting that. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So this is about ways of connecting flows in India. Uh, uh, Being the head of the southern region, so I am dealing with 8 states and some 3 union territories and about 15 links. As you know all, voice is clear now? Hello, my voice is clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, fine.
Hi, yes,
So,
sir.
so as you know, that the National River Linking Project, that is called NRLP, water transfers envisages easing of the water shortages in western and southern India while mitigating the impacts of recurrent floods in eastern and other parts of India. The ILR project, when it will completed, that will increase India's utilizable water sources by 25%, reduce the inequality of water sources endowments in different regions, particularly in the Kaveri Delta and the western part of India and other parts of India also. The increased capacity will address the issue of increasing India's per capita storage. Now the storage of India is about 200 million meter cube per year per person, so which will be increasing more. Now, if you see, there are some biases that catches the notion of engineering interlinking rivers. So without a detailed scientific insight, so that is an undeniable setback. If you see that, if this notion continues, so what will happen to that? So this approach will lead to drying up of rivers. I don't deny that this will cost more, interlinking river will cost more, it's a costly affair, but still, this approach will lead to drying of rivers in lean season due to diminished base flows like in Kaveri and Penna basins, and also will be the biggest impediment towards river rejuvenation efforts, leading to disaster situations in various parts of the country, and will be against our endeavor to meet the basic human needs in achieving equity and social justice. Now, if you see, out of 30 links, now presently one link has been implemented in Andhra Pradesh. So remaining 29 links we have to go for. Our Honorable Prime Minister, the present government, they are taking very proactive steps, and Government of India is translating its determined path of water management, as you know, through the actions of Jal Shakti Abhiyan over the present times, formulating strategies, often in the form of watershed collaborations, effectively engaging stakeholders to improve the regional management of water sources. Now, the issue of this deficiency of water sources, in particular Kaveri Delta and some part of western in Gujarat's Saurashtra region, so that has evoked us to take up the steps very proactively so that we can achieve that with the help of central government and all that. Now, if you see, the surplus water presence in interlinking rivers, that is not erroneous. In some parts of the country, the water is surplus. Some parts of the country, that's flooding. Some parts of the country, there is droughts. In some part of the country, now also they are facing drinking water problems. Now, if you see the key donor rivers like Brahmaputra and Barak river system, I just told that Mr. Darshan has just told that we have completed a study on river basins of India water availability. We took the help of ISRO, and when I was in the Minister of Jal Shakti in Delhi. So we completed the study of water resource availability in India using space inputs. So there you could see that the Brahmaputra river and the Barak river system, so they are having about 528.27 BCM of water, that is virgin yield, against the utilizable water source of only 24 BCM. Now you see 528 minus 24, so 504 BCM water still are unutilized. At the same time, if you see Ganga, that is having around 526.09 BCM of water, and total India is having around 1999.2 BCM of water, which is virgin. Now 1160 BCM of water resources water is going to the sea, just wasted. So to have the utilization to the optimal level, to the maximum level, to the benefit of Indian people and our consumers, we need to have some sort of management. We need to have some sort of huge election, so that we need to go for that reason. Now, if you see, the Tista River also is having surplus river flows under different environmental management conditions and in other persons also. The rivers of Subarnrekha, Mahanadi, Brahmani, Vaitarani, they are also having surplus water. So these surplus water, if we transfer to southern India, if the western flowing rivers, if you transfer to Gujarat part and some part to Maharashtra part, like PTN link and DP link, Damangang Pinjal link, and this part of the Narmada link, so we can at least give some benefits to our people, to our states, to our agriculture, to our industries, to our domestic supplies of water and other needs. So keeping this in view, we can see that interlinking will be a positive sort of thing, though it is having some demerits, but still river deltas and drainage areas, if you see, they suffer from disequilibrium in water supplies. So this may necessitate the transfer of water from surplus to deficit areas. Sometimes our power projects, they are also lacking behind. If you go for this power installations and tapping the hydroelectrical potential, that could be going to develop along the programs in tributary watersheds to prevent the soil erosion as well. Now, the full impact of interlinking rivers, that is an economy, will be realized when the construction is completed in the most major part of this interlinking of projects, and reservoirs filled, and the water reaches the ultimate users for irrigation, domestic water supply, and industrial purposes, and hydropower generation. Now, you see, this is a push towards water security. Huh.
Sir, sir, are you changing your slides?
I'm just giving introduction, then I'll change go by one. Okay.
Okay, so you are on only first
Yeah,
slide
first thing is
only.
I'm giving introduction, then I'll go for changing. Okay.
Sir, please do the slide show.
Yeah, I'm
so the
going.
participant will able to
I'll go
speak.
one by one. So now, in the same time also, the cost and benefits in the waste of irrigation water transfers will be enormous. But still, we have to see the benefit cost ratio. At the same time also, we can see the impact of integrity in our monsoon system and climate changes. In this present lecture, I will be going for the interlinking of water transfers links, what are the links, and particularly I'll be stressing upon this part of the Narmada link, which is beneficial Gujarat, and DP link and other links, also Godavari, Krishna, Kannar, Kaveri link, and other links also, can be the link, other links. What are the benefits and what are the conclusions out of that we can arrive in addition to some demerits. Now, if you see, with rapid development or urbanization, we need to go for extra water resource supply, which is the need of the time. So, this is a high time for India to come forward in all out manner to transform some ILR projects into big reality, so that the water deficiency problems in some parts of India can be solved. Now, the ILR projects are region and requirement specific. Say, for example, Kaveri Delta, they are requiring a lot of water, but which would be only possible when managed waters are given to Godavari. So this depends upon the hydrological, geological, topographical, and environmental conditions. So this ILR project largely based on the timed release of water from the surplus region to the deficit region. Now, if you see this water conservation concerns and optimum use of available water sources, this available water sources for fields, villages, towns, agricultural fields, all these things, on a post-comprehensive scientific assessment and thinking, so that can maintain the environmental purity to combat with both fold and flood and drought solution. This is flood, not fold, but flood and drought solution. Now, this ILR water transfers, so these will be giving us benefits when we increase the utilized water sources by 25%. Now, if you see, total in India, the estimated precipitation, including the snowfall, is about 3880 BCM as per 2017 study, which you had in Central Art Commission, Minister Jal Shakti. And 1990.2, 1999.2 BCM is the average annual potential in water, including the groundwater, surface to groundwater. So estimated utilized water source is around 690 surface water and 447, that is replaceable groundwater. Total is 1137 BCM. So this type of water, surface water is 690 or groundwater 447, we need to achieve. Now, presently, we are using only 502 BCM or 500, say 500 BCM of water resources. Others are not utilizing. Though they are utilizable, but we are not utilizing that. So, left side of the figure, when you see the basins, these are the figures, that is water resource availability, Indian basins in BCM. BCM means billion cubic meters. Now, if you go for this baseline water stress in India, we have different colors as given by Nitya recently. If you see this yellow person, that is less than 10%. If you go for red person, that is extreme high, that is 80%. That means they are having water stress. Water stress and water deficit, these are two terms you might have studied from Alpen's Falkenberg coefficients and all that, these lines. But still, as per 2020 data, this has further developed, and the floods in India, they are putting some problems in some of the states, and this flood water goes to sea finally without being stored or utilized. Now, if you see this reducing per capita water availability, what are the challenges we face? We see that 5.77 meter cube per year was the water availability in 1951. That has reduced now to say 11 say 05 now sorry 11 say 1341. It will be coming down to 1140 in 2050. Where if you see the world's average per capita water availability is 7,600 meter cube per year. Now, where we stand very down. And water stress line, if you see, that is 1,700 meter cube per capita per year. All civilians must know. And water scarcity line would be 1,000 meter cube per capita per year. If this trend goes on, so we'll be having problems in future. For that reason, you need to think ahead out of the box. Now, if you see the over exploitation of groundwater, particularly in Saurashtra region, in the Karnataka region, in the Tamil Nadu region, there are many blocks, many districts which are water stressed critically, and they are overexploited. So now if you see total blocks out of 6,584 blocks, you see this overexploited is 1,034, critical 253, and safe blocks are only 4,520. So this is 2013 data. So more or less remains same in 2020 also. So now 2020 something better has happened to the South India, but still it remains almost the same also. So seeing this situation over India, we need to go for some thinking which can at least solve our problems of water for drinking and industry or agriculture, those things. Now, as per this sustainable development goals, we need to have more crop per drop of water, as Honorable Prime Minister says and our Minister says. So accordingly, we need to go for some planning. So this planning is only about these interlinking rivers. Now, if you see the annual water utilization patterns of India, you can see that the storage capacity in India total can be 450 BCM. Out of that, we have only 16 BCM pre-plan constructed so far in up to 12 plan, that is 256 BCM. Now under construction 47, totaling about 316, 316 present completed 304. So now it will be around 316, and remaining will be these are planned and will be achieved in the course of time. Now, if you see other countries, USSR, US or Australia, these are much ahead of us. We are having only 200, about 290, say 200 BCM meter cube per meter cube per person per year as storage. We need to increase the storage so that we can utilize that during rain seasons and non-monsoon seasons. Now, if you see the per capita availability of water resources in as per 2017 space input data, we can see that. So these are the available waters. If you see Brahmaputra, 11,986. This is the availability of water, the highest in India. And if you see this minor rivers draining into Myanmar, that is Burma, and Bangladesh, this is 83 to 1. That means these two basins are diverting more water, unnecessarily wastage of water. And Barak and other basins, 4 to 5, 6. Now, if you see this Mahi basin, see, you can see this Penna basin, you see the Sabarmati, Tapi. These are really below this stress line, water scarcity indicator. Below that. If you see the Falkenberg water stress indicator, these basins, particularly falling in Maharashtra, Gujarat, and Maharashtra part, these are falling down. Now, if you see this east flowing rivers between Pennar and Kanyakumari, these are also suffering a lot. If you see west flowing rivers, Kutch, Saurashtra, and Loni, this is also 378. That means it's also below this stress line. So now, seeing all these indicators over here, water scarcity or water stress indicators, we can conclude that many of the basins in India, so they are falling very below in water availability. About you can see 11 basins in India are water stressed very much, and other basins though are surplus and some are highly surplus. So these highly surplus water basins or water regions can be diverting their water to the deficit basins so that you can achieve our purpose for agriculture and other purposes. Now, if you see the challenges and issues, we have this seasonal temporal variation in water availability. Spatio-temporally, the rainfall is erratic, and most of the rainfall taking place in 3 to 4 months of monsoon. Because this time, the spells of rainfall is very small, and this that means the intensity becomes higher, and sometimes this is delayed. So wide variation in water availability among basins and regions that gives rise to the need of interlinking rivers. Now, recurring floods, you can see Bihar, Odisha, some parts of Gujarat, some parts of this Agartala last evening. I was seeing the TV. So these are recurring floods in some areas, and droughts in southern India. Right now, also in Karnataka, facing problems. Vidarbha area and Maharashtra are facing problems. Increase in water demands for various sectors for various needs is also rising with population. You know that we are rising with population a lot. There are also impacts of climate change very often felt in particularly some parts of India. That is Gujarat, this coastal region are facing that. We have the studies done by IITs, IIS Bangalore, and IRE Columbia. So they are having this evidence that we are having the impacts of climate change all over India. So that need to think of that. Once you think of that, then you can have better things to have in water management. The anticipated increase in variability and available water resources because of climate change should be dealt very nicely and with by increasing the water storage at various forms. So some persons they stop thinking that we should not store water. Some persons think that we should store water. But without water storage in the monsoon period and using the in season period, so how you can go about this? So that will help by the intermittent rivers. Now, if you see the environmental concerns, so there are many ecological environmental concerns which also has some drawbacks, essential drawbacks about the socio-economic viability of these projects of ILR. So now if you see the environmental impacts, displacements, rehabilitation, that's the problem of affected people. The challenge of resource mobilization, geopolitical constraints, as well as domestic political dynamics that exist major criticisms. So I am facing these problems in this 8 states of my jurisdiction, which I am facing in all the states. So there are fights, there are conflicts, there are hydro diplomacy in the negative side, sometimes hydro diplomacy in the positive side. Even though hydro diplomacy in the positive side we are unable to connect the rivers because of some political reasons and other reasons. The regime change of rivers, aquatic and terrestrial biodiversity, if you see, the ground recharge in addition, so that along with the submergence of forest areas of land, so that leading to deforestation, soil erosion, and its downstream impacts, silent NBS, particularly in Gujarat, pollution concentration, and increased methane emissions from reservoirs are these unpropitious repurpositions of intelligent rivers. We have certain merits, at the same time also we have certain demerits. The reconstruction and rehabilitation R&R of huge people, that will be 85,000 people will be displaced by the ILR if totality it will be taken up. So because of this huge people rehabilitation and reconstruction, so this submersion of large area forest, agriculture, non-agricultural lands. In addition to this psychological damages, what is psychological damage? Means those people who are this tribal people who want to reside their own place, they do not want to live their own place. So that becomes a problem in this environmental concerns of internal rivers. So besides that, we have these consequential changes in the physical and chemical composition of the sediment load, river morphology, the shape of the delta, and if you dam these inflowing rivers to divert water westwards, so that will curtail the downstream side flowing, and the sediment load may shatter the fragile ecosystem of these areas like Mahanadi, Sundarbans, and all these things. That will cause this delta erosion. Besides that, we can have this differential sediment regime defining the flow regimes that need to plugged in the equation. So while transferring water from one part to other, particular from Himalayan part to southern part. So now if you see this impacts on all human beings on fish migration, aquatic biodiversity, wildlife, that will also shatter. Now, yet even back then, behind the smiles, we have a great reputation that the diversion of unutilized water from Brahmaputra, as I told figures to you, so that will provide about 85% of the country's freshwater flow in the dry season. That may result into an ecological setback because of change of these flow regimes from north part to southern part. Now, if you see the response to climate change, we have increase in global temperatures. We are seeing that our these glaciers are melting. Siachen glaciers has melted a lot, and in Sikkim, Gangtok also we have seen glaciers have melted a lot. Studies done by this IMD Pune and another institute of Pune. Now, if you see this expected increase in rainfall intensities, particularly because of short spell and shorter durations, the storages created for internal rivers will be useful in storing the water in such an eventuality. So now this will be helpful for floods and drought management. At the same time, also this will benefit our interconnected basins, including the donor basins as well, because in donor basins that will be have the reducing flood, and this interconnected basins, those are requiring water, they will be benefited. Now, if you see the interlinked rivers, whether it is salvation or a fall, if you see this right and rights, so there are conflicts between states. You have many tribunals, this Godavari Krishna Tribunal, then Godavari Tribunal, Krishna Tribunal, Kaveri Tribunal, Mahani Tribunal. Recently, this Mahani Tribunal is going on in Odisha, Chhattisgarh, all those things. So there are right and rights. People do not agree to their say as given by others, so they fight for more water. Now financing. So huge finance will be involved. So at the 2016 database will be 5.6 lakh crore rupees will be spent, but now it will be more than 6 lakh crore will be spent if all the links will be given. In my view, so main links we should be taking up, and other links we should deal later. Now the flood period. So idea of networking flood water with the deficit basins. So this doesn't consider the surplus period of donor area. So this is a negative point. Desertification. Now if natural flooding is not there, so desertification of forest area may be there also. There may be river pollution. There may be also security of the network. So whatever things we provide by internal rivers by means of barrages, dams, or some sort of what I say, solar panels and all that, in some canals and all that. So that will be a secret problem because people may be stealing it, and the canal can easily breach by the manual or natural activities. There may be some technical feasibility problems, but transferring water from one part to another, so that can be taken care by engineers, no problem for that. But still, we have certain difficulties in facing some pumping problems. You must know that our Kaleshwaram project, we have 510 megawatt pump. So such a huge pump that will require much of power, much of attention, and much of responsibility to cater to have this field sort of thing. The land acquisition problems, that will be a problem for these administrators because we depend on them. We depend on them for this land acquisition and disbursements. So which we need to take care of. And as I said, about 8,000 or 8,500 square kilometer of land affecting thousands of villages and towns. There, the environment cost will be about for 50,000 hectares of forest, but still we are minimizing that to have it about 40,000 hectares of forest. So intensive irrigation and unsuitable soils will lead to waterlogging also, and highly polluted rivers will spread toxicity to other rivers, and river system will be altered catastrophically because there will be creating some problems because of this aquatic biolife and all that. If you see these benefits, the most important benefit we have, that is we can irrigate about 35 million hectares of land in addition, 25 from surface water and 10 from groundwater. Hydropower generation we can have that 34,000 megawatt, and enhanced water utilization we can have 170 million acre feet. This is our main benefit of ILR. In addition to that, we can have our utilizable water sources more to the tune of, say now it's 502, it will be around 700. Now, other benefits you see, we can have domestic industrial water supply, mitigation of droughts, flood management, navigation problems solved. Then employment generation, we can have huge lots of employment. We can have fisheries, we can have salinity control, we can have pollution control. And at the same time, we can have infrastructure development, socio-economic development. These are the major benefits of ILR. Now, if you go this technical part of that, we have two links in India. One is Himalayan component, one is Peninsula component. Himalayan component are been 14 links. Out of 14 links, 13 are actual, and one is just alternative one, number one. Manav, Sankosh, Tista, and Ganga link. So if that is not possible, but it's possible, we have completed that SFR also. We are starting to prepare. Now, Manav, Sankosh, Tista link, that is MSTG link. So that is been taken up. If that could not be taken up, then Jogikapa, Tista, Faraka link could be taken up. So now, out of these 13 links, so we have nowhere. We have completed some of the DPRs, some of the FRs, special reports, but still because of problems from the states, problems from the stakeholders, problem from this political angles and all that, that causes some hindrance for this implementation of these schemes. Now, if you go to this Peninsula component, so these I am dealing Peninsula component 16 links. Out of the 16 links, we have completed DPR of almost all except two. Recently we have completed this Godavari, Mahanadi, Krishna, all are completed except this Netravati, Hemavati, and Pamba, Achankolpi, and Vaipar. Because Pamba, Achankolpi, and Vaipar, this is objected by Kerala Assembly. They have passed a resolution that they do not need interlinking in this stage. Pamba, Achankolpi, and Vaipar. They want only waters, but so that's a problem. And Netravati, Hemavati, this Karnataka government having some problems. Now they have requested us, the Chief Secretary, they have requested recently, so 10 days back, they requested us that we should take up this FR first, then we'll go for DPR because some environmental concerns are there because of forest area. So that's there. Bertivartha now we are taking up by 2021 June completing. DP link, Damodar Pinjal link we are completed already, PTN link we are completed already, Parvati, Kailina, Chambal we are completed, Kenbeth was completed, this 99.9% completed. Only this problem because for this MP and UP, we have some agreement problems for around 70 MSM water for which this is pending. Otherwise, Kaveri, Bhaiya Gundar, some 10 days back, I have completed DPR, and Pennar, Kaveri were completed already. Krishna completed, just going on. Then Krishna, Pennar already completed from Almaty, will be taking up soon. Then Godavari, Godavari to Krishna, Krishna to Pennar, Pennar to that Kaveri. These three DPRs already completed last in 2019 March. Now, if you see this water transfer links and Penza component, you can see that interlinking of Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna, Pennar, Kaveri, and second part will be west flowing rivers north of Mumbai and south of Tapi, Ken with Ken Chambal rivers, and diversion of some west flowing rivers to the proper use. These are four parts who are mainly concentrated in and would be taking up that. Now, if you see out of the 30 links minus 1, say 29 links proposed under National Prospective Plan, one link, as I told, that is Polavaram Vijayawada, is implemented by the AP government as a part of this Polavaram right bank canal. And we have 3 DPR links completed so far. This is Ken-Betwa, Damanganga Pinjal, Tapi Narmada, this thing. And 3 links submitted states already completed. That is Godavari Krishna, Krishna Pennar, Pennar Kaveri, and last also 10 days back submitted that Kaveri Vaiga Gonda, that is also completed. Now, if you see the intrastate DPR links, so completed is Kosi, Meki, Buriganga, Baya Ganga, and Puniar Palar, and Vanganga Nalgan Maharashtra. Interstate rivers DPR, we are taking up for Maharashtra, that is DVG and DEG. This will be benefiting Maharashtra in particular. And for Gujarat, we will be taking up DS link, that is Damanganga, this Sabarmati and Chora link, which we are waiting for the start from the Chief Minister of Gujarat. And that's on the way. They have given us not that they will be taking up this link at the cost of 47 crores, but still we are waiting for that. Recently, we had I had 2-3 meetings with the secretary, Mr. Yadav, and what was his name? Kapadia, no, not Kapadia, Rabadia, Mr. Rabadia. So we had that meeting. So they will be coming up soon. Now, if you see this Kaveri Vaigai Gundar link, we will be transferring the water from Kaveri to this Gundar. So this will be about 256 kilometer length, diversion of about 2,250 MCM water. So this will irrigate about 3.37 lakh hectare of irrigation, including the domestic, industrial, and water supplies. So the district will be many. This is Karur, Tiruchirappalli, and Kodukottai. So like this, many districts will be benefited by the CPC link. This is the lifeline of Tamil Nadu, you can say. Once this is completed, so water from Mahanadi to Godavari, once it comes, then only be completed. Otherwise, there is no water to go to this Tamil Nadu from this link. Only from Godavari, Kaveri, Krishna, Kaveri, we can divert about 1,300 MCM water. Remaining water we need this Mahanadi, Godavari link, then only it can be possible. Now, if you see this Bedti Varda link of this, particularly this Karnataka, this will be having a 14.8 kilometer, very small, but still it will be diverting 242 MCM of water. But this is, though it is the National Prosperity Plan link, but still this covers only in this Karnataka. We heard about 5 links in Karnataka. So Almaty, Malprabha, that is not feasible. Malprabha, Tunga, not feasible. Bhadra, Bhadravatu, that is withdrawn by Government of Karnataka because of their environmental issues and all that. Diversion of west flowing rivers, that is also withdrawn by Government of Karnataka. Then Agasani border link, that is being taken up by Government of Karnataka. So PFR already were completed. We are given to Karnataka government. They are taking up that. Now in this Bedti Varda link, we want to divert some Patnala Dam to Salmala Dam and Salmala to Varda River, and that will be irrigating this 60,000 hectares of land in this Karnataka. So this is about your Bedti Varda link in North. Now, if you see the Damanganga Pinjal link, this is particularly for drinking water of Mumbai. This will be benefiting Maharashtra a lot. We are planning to have this Bhugat Dam and Kargil dams proposed. So this is Damanganga basin. So this will be supplying water about 210 MCM of water, and Kargil will supply about 369 MCM of water. And using 2 tunnels, we'll be diverting that to this Pinjal Dam, which is already there in Bitarna basin in Pinjal sub basin. So that will be diverting 895 MCM of water to Mumbai city, which is facing some drinking water problems. Calculating for the year 2030, we have calculated this, and if you supply the 895 MCM of water to Mumbai city, probably Mumbai city will be sustaining in future. Else Mumbai city will have a lot of problems. Now, if you see next this PTL Par Tapi Narmada link, this is basically for Gujarat. Now, in this link, if you see this transfer of surplus water that is available in west flowing rivers between Par and Tapi river in Gujarat and Maharashtra. This will be for utilization in tribal areas and drought-prone areas of Saurashtra and Kutch region of by substitution method. and irrigation facility will be provided to 1.5 lakh hectares in tribal areas. And to take over this 42,368 hectares of command area of the Miagaon branch canal, and water thus will be saved to be used for domestic and irrigation purposes in other regions of Gujarat which are facing water problems. Now, in this PTL link, we have water to utilize a 1330 MSM of water, annual irrigation of about 2.32 lakh hectares in total, and annual power production will be 102 million units, and domestic water supply to the tune of the village, particularly 60 MCM, that is particularly to these tribal areas of this Gujarat. So this is one of these issues going on between Maharashtra and Gujarat, because of which we are unable to, though DPR is completed, but still we are unable to have this because Maharashtra government wants 400 MCM of water from Ukai Reservoir. So which Gujarat government doesn't agree to give that, so because of problem, because Ukai Reservoir they are using water for the Surat city and other purposes, irrigation other purposes. Now, if you see this PTL link and the top part of that, if you see the Panchmal, Chota, Udaipur area, we are planning to have this irrigation domestic water supply to these tribal areas. And Ukai downstream side, at the tail end of the Ukai, Maharashtra want that they should withdraw at least 400 MCM of water to the use of for Maharashtra. And now this project envisages joining of waters from 6 proposed dams, that is Jeri, Paikhet, Chasmandwa, Chika, Dawar, Kelwa. Of the 6 projects, Jeri will be contributing much. So out of that, which is in Maharashtra, part of that in Maharashtra, so Maharashtra, this Gujarat government wants that they should draw their water, utilize it without taking water from Ukai. But they cannot withdraw water because this is flowing to Gujarat side. So Gujarat side wants to close, so that can be lifted off and taken to Maharashtra. Because of that, they want water from Ukai Reservoir. So whatever they draw, whatever their water is put for Jeri, Paikhet, Chasmandwa, and 6 projects to this Ukai Reservoir will be taken at the downstream side as Maharashtra government claims. And from Ukai Reservoir will be taking one canal to this Panchmal and Chota Udaipur area, and that is the upstream side of this Sardar Sarovar Dam. And there will be mixing with this existing command of this Miagaon branch canal, where this water will be flowing to this irrigation fields and will be used for this domestic water supply of these tribal areas. Now, if you see this part of the Narmada link, we have different concepts in this. So water transfer, the surface water transfer that is available between this western rivers, between Par and Tapi in Gujarat and Maharashtra. So that we utilize, as I told. So once this is done, so the Panchmal, Chota, Udaipur area will be highly benefited. And now, right side, this thing, if it is a bit high side, so we can lift a slight bit of water and we can utilize this in some command areas of Gujarat and some command areas of Maharashtra. So this will be lifeline, some sort of thing in Gujarat, you can say, and this will be diverting about say 1330 MCM of water to Gujarat. Now, the annual irrigation will be 2.32 lakh hectares. Intensity of irrigation we have kept at 100%, at 75% reliability sort of thing. Installed hydropower capacity will be 21 megawatt, and annual power production will be 102 million units, and domestic water supply will be 60 MCM. So these will be served by this PTN link, which is much more for the benefit of Gujarat state particularly. DP is for Maharashtra and PTN is for Gujarat. Unless the sharing water is agreed upon, if they do not enter the agreement with, for this water sharing sort of thing, so this may not be feasible. So this is feasible technically, but that depends upon this sharing the water agreement between these two states. Now, if you see Godavari Kaveri Basin link, we can see that as per planning of this peninsula component, about 20,796 MCM of water that is coming from Mahanadi will be reaching Godavari, and this will be transferring water through 9 link systems. So what happened there in Mahanadi, because of this conflict between Mahanadi and Odisha and Chhattisgarh, and some problems of Mahanadi issues. So this Manipatra dam, which were proposed earlier, they have changed it to this Barbil. So that is 114 kilometers upstream side of this Manipatra this thing, and that will be joining at Dhaleswaram. Now this water comes to downstream side, so then not feasible. So now because of this is in sub judice case and all that, so an alternative of the unutilized waters are allocated to Chhattisgarh as per Godavari Water Dispute Tribunal award are proposed to be lifted from Godavari, and that will be transferred to Kaveri via Krishna Penna River, for which DPR has been completed. So this DPR of the 3 alternatives, we are planning for 7,000 MCM water, which will be diverted to this downstream side for these southern states, particularly Capital for their domestic purpose particularly and irrigation. So now if you see the total length of the three alternatives, we are giving three alternatives. So discharge is about 721 cubic, and the total length of canal is around 12 something. So three alternatives are giving, that is Ichampoli Grand Anicut to Grand Anicut, Janampet proposed barrage to Grand Anicut, and Janampet pipeline also we are planning for to Grand Anicut. Out of that, this Telangana state wants that specifically Ichampoli to Grand Anicut. Anyway, whatever the reason, 954 TMs of water will be utilized by Telangana state, remaining will be coming to Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, and after that it will come to Kaveri Delta. So 143 days of monsoon period will be storing water over there, and that will be diverted to the downstream sites. Canal size will be around 109 meters, 110 meters by 6.1 meters. And if you see this domestic water supply, particularly I'm talking of example Grand that will be 362 this MCM water. Industries will be 517, and population benefit will be around 1047200. That is around 104 lakh. BC ratio is now 1.35, and with this we are hoping that southern states will agree to this and we can have this. Now if you see the proposed revised planning of this, I will show one movie tour for 10 minutes. You will see that how we have visualized that. You can easily visualize how water is diverted, transport and utilized. Now just you see Barmul proposed dam, which is agreed by the Odisha government, will be diverting water to Dhalaisaram, and by taking substitution and extension method, we will be diverting 7,000 times of water from Champali to Nagarjuna Sagar reservoir, which is present. Now from Nagarjuna Sagar reservoir, we will be taking up to Pennar, Somsla reservoir, from Somsla existing, we will be taking to Grand Anicut. But what Karnataka says that, Tamil Nadu says that they want water at Katlai barrage rather than at Grand Anicut, because to avoid this Kaveri Water Dispute Tribunal errors. Now if you put water into Kaveri, so just look at the crux. If you divert water at the Kaveris, what will happen? Karnataka will ask us for sayas, Kerala will ask us for sayas, and Tamil will take its sayas, and other southern states will be taking their sayas from the Kaveri Water Dispute Tribunal. So because to avoid that, they want water cut layer diverting straightway upon the river, not mixing with the river. And from Katlaya to Gundar, we have the CPG link, that Kaveri Vaiga Gundar link, which has been completed. And 700 crore rupees has been sanctioned by the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu to execute the project. And I have several times had meeting with the Relationship Secretary of the state and the Minister of the state, that our advisor. So they want particularly to have it at Katla instead of Grand Anicut to avoid this Kaveri Water Dispute Tribunal. You now know the politics behind this, you know the hydro clause behind this. So because of these reasons, we are unable to have this thing, and at the same time also Maharashtra government does not want to have this link executed. At the same time also Chhattisgarh government does not want to have this link executed. And some of these problems with Andhra Pradesh want that it should be executed. Telangana also, it has not given its comments since 1.5 years has passed away, but still they have not given the comments. Puducherry government also have not given the comments. I talked to the Chief Secretary of Puducherry a few days back, and they are not against it. They are not in favor of it unless they get that award in the state. Anyway, so these are these problems going on in the southern states for this river. Now, if you see this Godavari Krishna Kaveri link project, if you divert from Inchampally Dam, so it will be straightway coming to this Grand Anicut. From Grand Anicut, if you drop water at the Kaveri River with a due share to this states as per CWT, and you can take water from this Katlaya and take it to this CPG link for this Kaveri Delta and other regions of Tamil Nadu. Now, detail technical part I am not discussing it because maybe there is shortage of time and all that. I am not discussing that. But still, these are the links. Here, what happens? The water will be coming from this Inchampally side. It will be stored at the Nagarjuna Sagar dam, because Nagarjuna reservoir is not filled up to the full extent. This is filled up hardly 40%. So starting from Inchampally dam, which is a proposed FRL of 87 meters, and we will be taking FRL of 180 meters say at Nagarjuna Sagar, and from there we will be diverting to Somsla Dam, which will be a 100 meters by gravity road. Then we're taking up through tunnels, and finally we'll be putting it a Grand Anicut, which is the existing now. Now, if you say this GC link, Godavari Kaveri link, alternative one, this will be about 1211 kilometers length, and alternate two, if you take, that will be 252 kilometers length. So this includes tunnels, canals, pipelines, all together. Mostly there will canals and tunnels if you take up Champali. But if you take up Janampet, that will be too costly. That will be around 75,000 crores. And if you take Inchampally, that will be 60,000 crores. So the cost component is also very vast in this. Now, coming to the southern area, this Godavari River, Krishna River, Penna River, and Kaveri River, four will be connected if this is metallized, and then it will be benefiting southern states. ILR will be stressing only. So in addition to ILR, we can have some other alternatives to have our water resource management better. So rainwater harvesting one of the options, and conservation of water is also another option. So these can have changes in topography, that can have changes in soil systems, the runoff flow patterns, and a changing climatic environment that is to be considered in this. So not only stored rainwater, but the soil erosion is also prevented by this. Recharging groundwater is another option. Skills we have to develop so that arresting the rainwater can be there, so that it can fall and allow the recharge the groundwater in reservoirs. In a few years, CGW, Central Water Transport, they have worked a lot towards this. And Minister of Jal Shakti in particular, they have taken a very good step in recharging the groundwater. We have achieved a bit in this, and still we have to go miles in achieving the recharging groundwater. And if you go for large scale utilization of groundwater in deltas, so this is practically feasible and initiative for the borewell development and irrigation needed to the responsibility of that's. If you take out this, then this utilization of the groundwater can be in a judicious way. Then if you have this community participation, the most important thing is that knowledge of people, there's awareness of people, awareness of these politicians, awareness of this region people, awareness of this technology. So these approaches of reducing the water consumption, so that will be giving us benefits by the flood in the cities and reducing the water wastage in the by the farmers. Because in farmers, you see this irrigation efficiency hardly it goes maximum up to 35%. We have the aim of achieving 20% extra, that is 50%, which is a very high target, but still this southern India and northern India, we can have this. In southern India is 35%, northern India is 47%, because many of waters are going wasted in this northern part because of Ganga and Brahmaputra. So because of that, it is less. Now, if you just increase this irrigation efficiency, we can have many food grains for our food and all that. Now, I would like to show one of the movies over here. Just hold on. So I'll show that. Just wait. Are you able to see? Please see this. This voice is clear and all that. Is visible to you? Is it visible? Hello?
Hi, yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is visible, sir.
Okay. Sound, please see the sound. Then tell me whether it is visible. So this is, yeah.
Sir, sound is not audible.
Yeah. Was it all right? Hello.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So voice was clear in that earlier video or not?
No, sir. Sir, in video, no voice, but
Right?
video, video played well.
But voice was not there.
Voice is not there in the video. Yes, sir. Voice is not there.
Here I was getting good voice, but I don't know what happened to that. Anyway, that was visible, no?
Some of the participant are asking. So some of the participant are asking whether they will get that video or
Yes, yes,
not.
I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. This is around 7 GB. I'll give it in this Google Drive. So let me
Okay,
complete my
okay,
lecture first, then
okay.
I'll go in for that, right? So now in part of that,
Yes, sir. Yes,
yeah.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Fine.
Now,
Continue, sir.
so best part I have already covered, but still I'll be covering, giving stress on PTN link, but still I'll be taking a conclusion part also. Now, if you think of PTN link, because most of the participants may be from Gujarat, so I want to stress upon that. This PTN link was started in 2010 by a tripartite memorandum of understanding signed by the states of Gujarat, Maharashtra, and the Union government in 3rd May 2010. So for the DPR application, and DPR is completed in 2015 August by end of the year, and this modified DPR was prepared as per this suggestion from the Gujarat government, Maharashtra government in 2017 April. Now under this project particularly, we have this link projects, 6 dams as I told: Jeri Dam, Paiket Dam in Tar Basin, Chasmandwa Dam in Auranga Basin, Chikkar Dam and Dabar Dam in Ambika Basin, Kelwan Dam in Purna Basin. There will be construction of 2 barrages if it is agreed to. That is downstream of Pikehead and Chasmandwa Dam sites. There will be 6 numbers of powerhouses. One is at toe of Pikehead, Chasmandwa, Chikkar, Dabar and Kelwan dams, and one on feeder pipeline connecting Kelwan Dam with the main canal, and canal of 406 kilometers, including feeder pipelines and tunnels, and the creation of 6 reservoirs that will submerge area about 6,065 hectares of land in Nashik district of Maharashtra. So because of that, it's a problem in Maharashtra, and some areas of Valsad and the Dan district of Gujarat state. And the benefit cost ratio is about 1.035 earlier. Now we have increased a bit, that is about 1.1. Benefit cost ratio at the IRR of 10.5 internal rate of return. Now, if you see these benefits for the part of number links, that will be enormous. So this will provide particularly command area, target command area of 42,368 hectares in Saurashtra region, about 36,200 hectares in tribal area of right side of PTN link by lift in Tapi and Surat and Bharuch districts, an area of 23,750 hectares and 10,500 hectares in command area of Chota Udaipur in Panchmal district, that is in Narmada main canal and the Sorchun basis, and 45,561 hectares in command area of Ukta, Sidumbar, Katta, Amba, and Jankari and Kuntlai projects by Government of Gujarat in Valsad, Navsari, and Tapi districts. Besides that, that will be supplying about 76 MSM of water to the drinking to about 27.5 lakh population in most of villages of Dang and Navsari districts, and Kaporda, Dharampur talukas, Valsad district. Likewise, besides that, it will benefit Valsad, Navsari, Dang, Tapi, Surat, Bharuch, Narmada, Chota Udaipur, Panchmal, Vadodara, and some other areas. The irrigation and the number of tanks will be many. Total will be 2,226 tanks uh, in Maharashtra, Gujarat. Maharashtra only it will benefiting 10 tanks. Remaining 2,260 tanks will benefited in Gujarat. So this is particularly towards this major state, that is for food security and other things. Already I have already told about pretending. There are many things. There are many cement industries and steel industries you see in Gujarat sort of thing. And many people will be benefited for employment sort of thing, and there will be tourism development in the flooded areas. So this will benefit enormously to Gujarat state, and because of this, if DP is implemented, that will benefit to Maharashtra, Mumbai water supply, and Mumbai will not be facing any problems for water supply. But this agreement will decide, this Maharashtra and Gujarat agreement will decide whether the link will be taken up or not. So that depends on these two states' this relation and cooperation. If this goes on well, then I hope that these two links will be implemented. And third thing, that if the DS link is implemented in 3 years' time, we have taken to complete the DPR. Mr. Rabadi also told he is told he is agreed that So he has told, and Mr. Yadav has told also, if they go for that sort of thing, then maybe after this corona, I'll be visiting this state for this hearing sort of thing to ask. I may meet your deputy minister also. If that happens, then probably this will benefit for the state of Gujarat, and many will be benefited. Now, if you see the conclusions of this my lecture, small talk, so we can have this about 1160 BCM flows to the sea without fulfilling human needs. So out of that, at least 400-500 BCM we can at least save utilize in the mainland. And large amount of water from the sea from Ganga and Brahmaputra. But this is you know that this is two-thirds of country's water sources out of 1999 and 2000 BCM. So this is about 526 and 528, around 1050 BCM of water. And the increased storage capacity that can be achieved to 450 BCM, starting from 350 BCM. And to store further water underground, we need to have more surface irrigation systems backed by the storage facilities for each us. Out of 20 basins in India, only 4 or 5 basins have capability to further store water from the topographic feasibility point of view. The remaining basin, we need to go for some other artificial something. Interlinking of rivers will need to store and divert part of excess waters during the monsoon period and non-monsoon period. It will be stored in some of the reservoirs, some of these tanks, and that can cater us for our irrigation, for our agriculture, for our drinking water supplies, for our industries, for our commercial purposes, for other things. And if you strengthen this and expand these COVID effects between these co states, so this can foster the core of riparian relationship between states or the regions through formation of river basin authority, because without river basin authority, we are not able to sustain this, because water is a state subject. If river basin authorities are formed with legal provisions for implementation of this interlinking of rivers, then only it is feasible, because river basin authorities like Australia, Murray-Darling Basin, it will have some legal provisions, it will have some powers, it will have some authority, it will have some bilateral mechanisms for conflict resolution and all that. So then only this thing can be possible, which is being opposed by the states now, the present state. And for this, we need to have this comprehensive EIA and SIA studies, which will be properly implemented, because without SIA and EIA studies, this ILR is a failure. We need to see in a scientific manner, we need to see in a technical manner, we need to see the feasibility of this ILR in terms of environmental and ecological and RRR sort of things. Then only we can achieve this. And at the same time, so I can tell that the conclusion part of this, these issues, intervening issues of this interlink of rivers, that is, these issues of land use, water quantity are best addressed, that is in concept, while considering the overall growth of the future prospects of the country, opting for more efficient and rather most efficient and coordinated approaches to the use of sub-basin so as to plan the basin management solutions sustainably. At the same time also, in concurrence, I can say that the ILR is expected to eventually promote new and more comprehensive efforts mobilized in the basins, converting so many of our dying and losing rivers into gaining rivers by way of implementing some of the feasible and profitable ILR. I don't tell that it is all the ILRs, but I tell that, stressing that some of the feasible and profitable ILRs for the benefit of the states, regions, community, people, and all that, leading to the increased base flows of rivers and providing employment opportunity in the rural areas and giving some work for these parents of engineers in this 53rd day of Engineers Day celebration. I would like to wish that this day comes in future, and most of our colleges will be have the say once we have this implementation done, and this will have adaptive basin management principle, and we wish that these things will happen in our time period, and it will serve the purpose of these deficient regions, and many mouths, many hands will get work and food, and our agriculture will be sustained, and you can achieve this more crop per drop water. Thank you very much. Thank you all. This is my lecture about in the nutshell. If you want more details about that, I can go in details one by one, because it's a vast subject, and each link is vast. So each link, if you describe in details, that will be too long time to take. But still, just I gave one comprehensive idea about this. So thank you very much. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir, for your wonderful session. Now I request participant, if any of the participant want to ask any kind of questions, then we have the question answer discussion session.
Yeah, please.
You can write.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, please.
Sir, Mrunalini Rana from Silboro College of Engineering and Technology, Ahmedabad.
Okay.
Sir, I have a question. It's this is a very good blend of research for recharging of connecting the river. Now, like if it is in within the state, for example, in South Gujarat, there is a good rain during monsoon season. But at the same time, there are a little bit of dry like this thing in Saurashtra. So there is a river linking project, Saurashtra River Link project. If it is in state, there is no challenges of boundary issues. But
Yes.
when it is across the states, then what type of complications do arise and how it is managed, sir? Since you are into the field, we can get the best knowledge and feedback
Yes.
from you, sir.
I'm talking now. We have received this interested links. Interested means those are within the state itself. 47 proposals from various states. Out of that, 37 who have completed. 10 DPRs have been withdrawn by the states. Like all the states, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Bihar, Odisha, all the states, we have 47 requests. Out of that, 37 we are working on that, and 10 have been withdrawn by the states. Now, what happens in the interested links and what is the difference between interested and interested links? In the interested links, you don't have any problem because state governments will look after this administration part, the land acquisition part, we will have all these police protection, all that. Because sometimes when you go to the field, so our vehicles are burnt because we are not only Minister for Jal Shakti who are doing that. Instead of that, we are taking help of this GSI, Geological Survey of India. We are taking help of some private organizations for the surveys and all that. Some contractors were taking the help of this CSMRS, CWPRS, and we are taking help of some of these other government Survey of India and other government organizations for which we face problems because of this problems by these local people because they do not want this project to be taken up. They do not want their water to be taken up somewhere. We had these problems in Gujarat. We had these problems in Maharashtra, and we have requested the Chief Minister and the Chief Secretary to take up that because sometimes we have to feed the police also illegally or some thing logically also because we have give that. And sometimes our drones are taken care of. Even we have instructed the Chief Secretary by our secretary so that the Chief Secretary should take care of the Insurance Secretary concerned will take care of that. So that district magistrate and the superintendent of police or this SSP in this case district, they will take care of this thing, drone sort of things. So recently we have faced the problem in Telangana. Our drone equipment that was taken away by this, what I can say, these are police people, and sometimes our drones and other equipment they are taken by this Maoist, what do you call this, terrorist, not terrorist, but Maoist part in Chhattisgarh area. So we face problems because of that. And now, if it is intrastate, if the state government provide enough opportunities for us to work on that, if they provide this facility sort of thing, police protection, all those things, so then there won't be a problem. Now, we are not able to fix up this 2% like for Maharashtra, we are taking up DBG and DG now will be completed in 6 months' time. So, because of this public hindrances, we are not able to take up that because the tribal people there, 2 dams of DG link, they are protesting. They do not want that 1 drop of water to be given to them. And recently, Honorable MPs visited my office. And 2 times, Mr. Penseji. So he requested me that this should be done, and I agreed to that his proposal. But thing is that he is in charge of that convincing the people those are making hindrances. If this local politicians and the local administration take care of that, in addition to this care by this state administration department, then we won't even have a problem. But still, interstate reports, most problems are not there. But nowadays, interstate reports, if they take up the interlink project, they have to finance because as the government of India rules, they have to finance now. If you go for interstate reports, there are many issues because the rival states, like say GKS link, Godavari, Krishna, Pennar, Kaveri link in there. In this link, 7 states are there. 7 states are there means starting from Maharashtra, starting from Odisha, Chhattisgarh, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu. All these states were convinced. Some states are convinced. Some states are not convinced. Some states are opposing that thing. There are some conflict in states. Say, for example, this GKC link, suppose you take up, there is one barrage going on at the stage of completion, 90% completed. Tuppukulogodam barrage just upstream side of this, downstream side of this in Champali. Now, once it is completed, they have not taken any complaints from this Chhattisgarh state. Now Chhattisgarh opposes that why you did not take in concurrence while constructing the barrage in your state. So we are not agreeing to your proposal. So now to convince the Chhattisgarh state, that becomes a problem for us because they are very much this thing. See, this is not in hands of these administrators or engineers. This is in hands of politicians. If they agree to do that, then definitely it can see the light of day. And these problems we are facing by intrastate, so intrastate problem linking projects. And intrastate projects, we don't have any sort of thing. Only intrastate projects, the internal regional problems are there because of environmental issues, which can be solved by judicial decisions, by the engineers, and by the state engineers and state authorities and state ministers and all that. So that is not a problem. Okay. So technically there is no problem at all. And financially now it has been done that the state interested project will be financed by this central government, and interested projects will be funded by 90-10 proportional basis sort of thing. But now the things once this is to be achieved, some other things are there also in this pipeline because there are some tribunal dispute awards. So abiding by these awards, we need to go, and the states need to give their consent and concurrence for this technical proposal which are just planning. So these are the problems we face during intrastate interlinked projects. Because of that, we are not able to implement that. Because some engineers, some professionals, they object to the this ILR proposal also. So they don't think that this IL project is not a single project. These are many projects, 29 projects are there. You take one or two, you take the benefited ones. Why do you take all the projects? So I am not in favor of all the links should taken up. I personally think that the projects which are benefiting, they should be taken up. Could you get my answer, Ms. Brahmanji? Are you convinced now, Ms. Rana?
Yes, yes, sir. Thank you
Any other
for giving
question?
such a description, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Sir, next, one of the participant asked that, can you please throw light on Kalpsar project?
Yeah, see what happens there because of the DS link we are taking up recently. Last 6 months back, I had a meeting. I told you the two secretaries, Mr. Yadav and this Ravadia. I had meeting with Kapadia. So Ravadia and Yadav both are in charge of secretary. They are secretaries of this water gardens. So I met them. We had meetings with all other engineer chiefs and all that. What happened there? They are not finalizing the Kalpsar project as yet because in the DS link, when you take up DS link, will be diverting about 2,000 MSM of water. So out of that, link will be around 803 kilometers long. So 803 kilometers will be too costly. So they want that cost to be reduced back. I told them instead of taking this 800 kilometers, you need to have some solutions. Get the Kalpasar. So they want that Kalpasar project. They will be joining directly from the right side to the left side, so that at least 200, 250 kilometers, 230 kilometers around will be curtailed. So that is down. Now Kalpasar project has not been finalized as yet. So Mr. Ravade is in charge of the Kalpasar project. He is looking after that. So I do not know what is the final situation of that because of COVID situation. I could not visit your state. So once I go over there again, I will talk about take this thing with the chief secretary and your secretaries. So let us see what happens to that. But Kalpasar project has not been seen this final planning as yet. So because of that, we are pending. The DSC link is pending because of that. Once they finalize this sort of thing, then we can take up this DS link. So Kalpasar project, the costly project, the 3,000 crore rupees will be this estimated cost will be there. So I don't know how they are planning sort of thing. But once you have this, there is a big dam or big embankment to be built along this Kalpasar project. So I do not know how the state government is taking up that, but still, like Minister of Jal Shakti has given the dot sort of thing, and maybe 2 years back I was part of that in the ministry. So that time it was going on, but now I do not know what is the status of that. So maybe your Gujarat government secretary can tell better about that. Yeah, please.
Sir, now no more question in the chat box. So we can now concluding the session. Yes, sir. Sir, Pandya sir want to ask one question.
Yeah,
yes,
please.
Shankar sir, good morning.
Yeah,
One question from my side. In one of your slide in the column chart, you have seen the 11 river basin are on the red side, in which 2 of our river are there, Tapi and Narmada. Can you explain this thing, sir? I not understand this two particular things.
I'll explain. So just one second, hold on.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Yeah, please. I understand. Can I present that again? That's right.
No, sir. Sir, please share the presentation.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing only. Just one sec. Yeah, this slide, Pandyaji may be asking about this. Is it?
This
So
slide,
see,
this slide,
see
in
now
which,
if you
sir,
see the red, yeah, yeah. So there I have marked two lines. One is 1700 meter cube per year per person. Second one is 1000 meter cube per year per person. So these are given by Falkenmark water stress indicators. These Falkenmark water stress indicators say that one is Falkenmark water stress indicator, one is water scarcity indicator. Water scarcity means that is this 1000, and water stress indicator is 1700. Now the two lines you are seeing here, this red line and green line. Now if you see the red line, so your Ganga basin, though it is having water, but still it is water scarce. Now if you see the Krishna basin, the fully utilized basin, Kaveri basin, now we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 7, 7 for 11. So here Ganga, Krishna, Kaveri, Subarnrekha just slightly less, then Pennar, Mahi, Sabarmati, Tapi. And this is eastern rivers between Mahanad and Pennar, and we have eastern rivers between Pennar and Kanyakumari, and western rivers between Kutch and Saurashtra, including Loni. So now if you see in Gujarat part, particularly this Mahi basin, Sabarmati basin, and Tapi basin, and this west WFR Kutch and Saurashtra, they are below this water scarcity indicator. That means they are having problems in water. So some water they are getting from other rivers also. Now if you see your this Sabarmati river is getting water from this Menda. What is that? That statue there. Sabarmati water is getting from that river. The dam, main dam, Sardar Circulate. So Sabarmati is now getting up a bit, but actual the water availability is too less. That is 234. This only. So if you see this water availability per capita, so Sabarmati the lowest, that is 234. Next is your eastern rivers, western rivers is 378. So seeing this situation, we can see that Mahi, this Sabarmati and Tapi is bit up. It is not touching 1000 meter cube per head per year. So now if you see the situation in Gujarat is not good also in terms of this water availability, virgin water availability in Mahi, Sabarmati, Tapi and WFR and Kutch and Saurashtra areas. So which you said these green areas are above this 1000 meter cube per person per year availability. And you will see this Brahmaputra, and you see Barak and others, and you will see this minor rivers running in Myanmar. They are quite high. And sometimes we have WFR from Tapi to Kanyakumari, which is having around 119% water available, and 70-80% of water goes to sea. Rather soon, I can say 90% water goes to sea. Though you are having 2900 mm of water, this rainfall in Kerala state, but most of them they are going to sea. So because of these reasons, we need to have a balance between the states. We need to divert this excess water from some of the regions to this deficient regions like this Mahi, Sabarmati and Tapi, and some Saurashtra, Krishna and Godavari. Then only our problems can be solved. Then only you can have this water for drinking purposes. Then only you can have this water for this irrigation purposes. So this is what my yes says, my talk says. Are you clear?
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Sir.
Thank you very much. Any other questions, please?
Any other question from the participants? Okay, so if we don't have any questions from the participants, then now I'm concluding the session. So on behalf of Civil Engineering Department, first of all, I would like to thank our speaker, Dr. R.N. Sankhwa sir, for delivering such a wonderful session on the theme of water resource engineering, and the topic is fully relevant to the newly project, that is the interlinking of the rivers, voice of connecting flows of river in India. Sir has discussed so many points during his lecture, and it is focused on the voice of connecting flow of rivers in India, outline of issues, concern and honest layout on the trial for a gainful conversion of reality behind the challenges and opportunities of constructing a sustainable water development front, and which impacts the future prospect. And sir has also talked about the several environmental impacts of connecting river flow, including the submergence of the land and forest, aquatic and terrestrial biodiversity, downstream impacts, fisheries, salinity ingress, pollution concentration, groundwater recharge, and increased methane emission from reservoir. So I think it was a wonderful and the interactive session, and definitely, sir, the lecture which sir had delivered, it will helpful to the young youth and the young engineers, those who are studying in the undergraduation, also to the post-graduation students, those who are in the water resource engineering field, and all the faculty members also. So once again, I would like to thank sir for accepting the invitation on this auspicious occasion of Engineers Day. And on behalf of all the participants, I would like to thank sir for delivering such a wonderful session.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Sir, one request to you, yep, that please share me the your presentation and the video link, because many of the participants were asking that, yeah, whether we will get the presentation, yes, and the video link.
What you can just share me your this email and Google Drive link.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yes, I can just share now, sir. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sure, sir. And one request to all the participants, that we have one more session today in the evening, that is at 4 p.m. The link is same as per the morning session. So to join by the same link. So thank you so much, all the participants, Sankhwa sir, Principal Dhiman sir, and all other faculty members of the Civil Engineering Department. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.